got a little rain this morning, huh?
Off and on.
Yeah.
Gross.
Let the guys move around today.
We're all right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it is what it is. It was a war. It was a long game. And our Titan data show we gave, more effort in that game than we have in all of our games so far now. So we look like a tired team that needs an open week, and we don't have one. And you know me, I keep it real at all times. And it's just what I told them. So nothing I can do about it, man. And I just asked them, who do you think was better today, us or Rice? I mean, they've had an open week. They've been preparing for us for 8 or 9 days now. Did we beat them today? I said, well, we don't know because we're not in Rice watching their practice, so we can't control that. But we can control us, and that's what we just got through talking about.
The open week's not for 2 more weeks, so how do you try to combat some of that? You just gonna have to take some off of them this week, or?
There's just a danger in that because we play a team that was very pass happy last week. So that's what we worked on all last week, and Rice is totally different. They're the most different 2 teams you could ever play in your life. And it is what it is in the schedule. And I'm just being honest in what I told my guys. And there's nothing we can do about it. We've got to go practice, and we got to get better, and find a way to get it done Saturday.
Jeff, Ken Robinson was the guy who showed up on a few plays against Western Kentucky. We haven't talked about Ken much this year. Kind of what jumps out about him or what he brings to the table for you?
That's just it. Nobody ever notices Ken because he just does his job every day. He never says a word. He's like a silent assassin out there. I mean, he's an easy kid to coach. He shows up every day. He never misses. He does his work every day. He's a professional, like, when it comes to that kind of stuff. And you described him very well. He just kind of goes unnoticed, but he's really good.
Yeah, even last year coming in as redshirt freshman and first year under your guys, he earned a lot of snaps right away. Was it just all those things you mentioned, or was there something that he carved out a role?
100%, and he's really good too. He's a guy that people sleep on. He's a good football player.
Jeff, I'm sorry, without Jamal Ligon, this past week we saw Prox and Feaster step up. I think we're going to talk to Feaster hopefully this week. What have those guys done to earn so much playing time?
Well, they're Texas high school football players, and they just want to come back home. And I'm glad they called me because they're really good players, and they're hilarious. Each week, I think when we went 2-0, they're like, Coach, we've never been 2-0. And I'm like, that's awesome. So now they've got a little deal. They come up to me every game. They're like, Coach, we've never been 3-0. And I hope we can do this a few more times. I kind of enjoy you guys talking about it. They're good kids. Their high school coaches spoke very highly of them. And so we watched their video. We liked them, and we started recruiting. And we're where they wanted to come, and we're glad they chose us.
Hey, Coach, before the season started, I asked you, what you thought the deepest position that you had, and you said the defensive line. 6 games in, do you still consider the defensive line the deepest position group that you have?
Yeah, we still rotate all those guys in there and play them all. We've got really good guys on the scout team. I mean, Trey Moore's really good. He's on scout team. Tripp's really good. He's out on the scout team. We've got some really good scout team guys. I bragged on my scout team today. I'm like, look, man, there's 16 of them on the scout team. I'm like, there's some teams they could go beat. I mean, we're really that deep. So, I without thinking about it too much, I'd still say that'd be the correct answer. But you know how season is. We're getting thinner and thinner by the week.
With Prox and Feaster, we talked a lot about the linebacker depth from last year till now. Have you noticed that it makes a difference for Trevor and for Jamal to have those guys that can rotate into them?
It just keeps everybody on edge, When you see the show roll on without you, it's a very humbling experience, and we don't do it for that reason. It's just humbling when you see them all play great defense, and you're standing over there, and you're like, oh man, they just move on without me out there. So, and they like each other. They've got great chemistry and culture, and it keeps them fresh. So they all enjoy that because they really do want to give a perfect effort. And I know we didn't play up to our standard Saturday on defense, but it wasn't for lack of effort. It was not bad. Yeah, we just probably put a little too much on those young men, and we played a really good team as well.
I noticed when everybody's healthy, a lot of times you'll sub Prox and Feaster in together. Is there an advantage to them being on the field at the same time just because they've done it before side by side?
They do know the defense and they have played together, but that's just the way it works. I mean, Jamal and Trevor usually go first, and those other guys come in next. And it's just, and Avery's playing good, and so is Tyler Monkey. So we just haven't got to see them as much. It's hard to get 6 of them out there at linebacker, but we've been playing forward pretty regularly.
Hey, Coach, I know we don't talk much about associate coaches, but I want to get your thoughts on Barry Money. He's done a hell of a job. UTSA, I don't think I've ever seen an offense like what's been put out in the field, the product. So just your thoughts on Barry Money and the work that he's done so far this season.
I'm thrilled with Barry. He's a great man, first and foremost. He's been doing it a long time. So, you know, he really uses his staff very well. He uses his players very well. And he called a heck of a game Saturday. But I don't ever like to talk about coaching too much because it's what we get. And this is not anything against Barry. Barry does a fantastic job, so do not read anything into that. It's a player's game, and it always will be with me. And Barry would say the same thing. He would not answer it any different than me. So, but yes, he did a heck of a job Saturday. But Frank really did, and JT really did, and Sincere really did, and Maka and Spencer. And you get my point. It's a player's game.
We were just talking to Sincere. Do you notice anything different with him in his play from last year to this year, or is he the same guy you've been coaching since you got here?
No, he's better than he was last year. It's not even close. I mean, he's just lighter, faster, stronger, better conditioned. There's a reason those receivers are out there just cleaning up now. It's one-on-one all the time. You don't get better than one-on-one, man. There's no such thing as 1-on-0. We have done that a couple of times this year on defense, but we weren't supposed to. So I kind of got my own self there, right? But one-on-one should be as good as you get. See you.
Thanks, Jeff.
All right, Jeff. Appreciate it.
God bless.